Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here. Today's content is how to release jealousy around your twin souls partners or former partners, current partners, future partners. So I'm going to talk about 5 different ways to look at and love your twin souls partners. Very, very juicy and possibly already very triggering. The reason you want to look at this is because all of current and previous partners of any masculine in your life, any of the main ones. So this would be like parents, siblings, exes. So any main masculines in your life can teach you something about yourself. If you are the masculine, then this applies to feminines as well. I mentioned masculines because I'm a feminine. So we're just going to go through this, and I'm going to try to give examples so that it becomes really clear, because I know that this is a really challenging one. And the reason you want to release jealousy around your twin souls partners is because that jealousy is going to continue to attract the partner into that twin soul's life. The main reason that this happens is due to law of attraction. And if you are experiencing jealousy, that's a pattern within yourself, and it's going to attract things for you to be jealous of. And it's true for money as well. If you are feeling jealous of people who are richer than you, then you're going to continue to see people in your Facebook feed or wherever that have more money than you. And it's basically an energy of you feel poor. Like, the jealousy is there to show you something. You feel poor, and thus you are going to attract people around you who are richer than you or who make you feel poorer. So it's the same way with your twin souls partners. It's that you feel something within you, like you feel not good enough in some way, and thus you're going to attract people in your reality that make you feel even more not good enough. And so that's what jealousy is alerting you to. It's alerting you to things that you want, or areas of your heart where you don't feel enough. And so typically people, when they experience their twin soul's partner, or they see their twin soul with someone else, it's very, very painful. So I want to just say that this is probably going to be easier to do if you have just been experiencing this. So this is probably not something you are going to be able to do right away. So if you just find out about their partner, then you might feel, you might need to process those feelings first. But afterwards, so when you've been dealing with this for a little bit and you still believe this person's your twin soul, and you're still feeling jealous of the partner, but you're in a more rational place, that's when you can start applying this. So the first tip that I have, so number 1, is to remember that your twin soul is projecting everything that they love about you onto someone else. So I experienced this with one of my exes. So with that ex, it was like I always felt like I was not good enough. I always felt like I was wrong. I was the wrong person for him. And I just made a list because I think that this is going to resonate with people. So I felt like I was not nurturing enough, not pretty enough, not skinny enough. This was a big one because every person he's dated since me is smaller than me, smaller than I was when I was dating him. And I was never like a really tiny girl. That I was not fun enough. That I was not worth like partying with. And the reason for that is that we were in college, and even when I would go out, or even like I would just, and I did like to go to parties in college, as many people in college do. But for whatever reason, my ex didn't he wasn't part of the party scene, and he wasn't into it, and I never said anything about it. I just thought that's how he felt. And so I would even like offer him a beer every once in a while, and he'd take like a sip and then he'd discard it. Like he didn't want to drink around me, and I felt judged sometimes. Like, he wasn't judgmental toward me, but I felt like, oh, he just doesn't like this. And then after we broke up, he literally was partying all the time and posted pictures on Facebook about it. And I was just like, was I not like somebody he wanted to like party? Like, it was just really confusing to me. Because it made me realize, like, and like ever since then, he's always like, he like drinks and like smokes and whatever. He does, he always is like having a good time, ever since. And so it's always, I was just like, am I not worth partying with? Like, am I just not somebody he wants to party with? Which is a silly thing to think, but I think the root of it was that I felt a bit judged by him at the time. Even though he wasn't judging me, but he never said anything to me, but I just felt judged, that I was not interesting enough to him. Like, I was never able to really get his attention, not worth going deep with. Like, he never wanted to take the next step in our relationship. And so what helped me though really get past a lot of this, because these were just like hurtful feelings. And again, it's like the feelings inside you. It's not about the other person. It's the feelings inside you coming up to heal. So I was looking at some of his other exes, and his other partners, like, just people he's dated, even like, I mean, he has an ex-wife. And what I noticed though is that he definitely has like a type. Like, he always goes for the same type of person, and like that type is me. And so I realized that he's kind of like still looking for like something. Like, he's still searching, and he hasn't really found the right person for him. But the right person for him and what he seems to be looking for is a lot of the qualities that I had. So when I was looking at his exes, I noticed like they're all kind of just different facets of me. And like I was able to offer him a lot, or like, I don't know about all, but like a lot of what he is still looking for, if that makes sense. And so I realized they didn't really have anything to offer that I didn't. And for whatever reason, it probably wasn't about me. Like, it probably wasn't ever that I wasn't skinny enough. That's probably not why we broke up. It's probably because he's still looking for all the qualities that I had. And so it's probably about him. So then the number two thing, so number one, again, your twin soul is projecting all the qualities that you have onto somebody else. Number two is that your twin soul is running from any of your qualities that are triggering them. And so this is another big one. So if you do see something that is dissonant in your twin's partner, like you see like, oh, well, I'm this, but they are like the opposite of that. It could be because your twin soul is running from something that's triggering him. So the same ex that I was talking about in the first one, when I looked at his partners, I noticed like, I was trying to find like, what did they offer him that I don't? And I noticed that there really wasn't much. He was still looking for like, basically me. He was just looking for it in all these other people. So the two things that I could come up with, one was this idea of like going deep. So it was basically this idea that the other people in his life, the other women that he dated, they all just made him like comfortable. And he was always like a person who wanted to stay comfortable. He never really wanted to go deep. He didn't want conflict in our relationship. And so then there was a lot of avoidance around things that we needed to talk about. And I realized like I'm not a person to be comfortable with. Like I'm always trying to improve myself. I'm always trying to grow, and naturally through the law of attraction, it pushes everybody around me to also grow and to also step up and to also face things that they need to face. Um so I'm always going to be with somebody who is okay with me pushing them to grow and transform. And it's not like I'm doing it on purpose. It's just like naturally who I am. So then the second thing was shame. And I realized that this ex was really embarrassed by me a lot. And he made it clear that like I was constantly embarrassing him. So there were a lot of things. One was that I had the tendency to be blunt and opinionated. It's really that I'm super opinionated, and whenever I talk, I'm not afraid to just state my opinion, and I'm not going to hold back my opinion in order to, build bridges between people. So that was a big part. And because of that opinion, because of being opinionated, I sometimes offended people, and still do to this day. I often like rocked the boat or like made the group uncomfortable by just like, and to me, it's like, I just was stating, an opinion or like trying to bring up something that needed to be brought up. And that was like rocking the boat. So he is kind of a person who doesn't like to rock the boat. And one really, really strong example that I remember that triggered me with him specifically was it was like July 4th, and I had bought like a bunch of these July 4th themed headbands. So they were like red and had like little pom-poms or like little like like little things like going up. And it was all like red, white, and blue here for July 4th is Independence Day here in the US. And so I had a bunch of these headbands, and I had given them out to a bunch of my coworkers to wear, just as like this fun thing, like let's celebrate July 4th. And we had all been working that day, and then we were all going to go to the fireworks because I worked at the Arch. And so we were all wearing these headbands, and my ex came out to meet us, and like a couple of our friends from high school were also there, just on their own, and we were going to meet up with them or something. And he saw me with this headband, and he like lost it. Like he was really, really embarrassed by me for whatever reason. And he was like, take it off. Like he was so mean about it. Like, take it off, take it off. And I was like, no, I'm not taking this off. Like, that's ridiculous. And he wouldn't like let it go. He kept hounding me that like it looks so stupid, it's ridiculous. And I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but I remember like I wore it walking all the way from like the train to the Arch grounds, I think, something like that. Like, and like the whole way he was like, this is a ridiculous headband, like take it off, and like just going on and on about it. And this is not a short walk. I don't know how long it is, but it's like at least a 5-minute walk, probably closer to like a 10 to 15 minute walk. And like the whole time he was just like, it's so stupid. And I was like, no, like, why? I didn't understand like why he was so upset about this headband. He's like, and then he would be like, people are looking at you. And I was like, who cares? It's just a fun and like stupid headband to wear. Like, stop, And so then we finally get to his friends, and then he's just berating me to take this headband off, and like his friends are like joining in, like, take the headband off. And it was just like, and like one of his friend's girlfriends was like, that's a really cute headband. Like she was just probably trying to be nice, because like everybody else was like, take this headband off. So I finally took the headband off, because he was just so embarrassed by me. And this was like probably the worst time that I can remember, but it was not like an uncommon thing. Like a lot of things I did just seemed to embarrass him so much. And anything about like me standing out, like it embarrassed him. And so he I saw a picture of him and his wife, like, and their child, like, I don't know, years later. And this woman was wearing the same exact headband. And I was like, what the? Yeah. You know what word comes after that. You know, I try to keep it clean on these. But yeah, she was wearing, it was probably not the same exact headband, but it was like a really, really similar headband. And they were like, I don't know, they had gone to see fireworks or something. But it was like the same, it was like the same holiday too. It wasn't like, oh, here's like a Christmas headband version of this. And I was just like, seriously? Like he's like grinning in this picture with this other woman wearing the same headband that he made me take off like 10 years earlier. And it was like something really simple, but something that like really hurt my feelings, and really triggered me, because I was like, what? Like, she must just be like so much better than me that he's able to put up with this headband that he like hated so much during our relationship. And so it was what I had to realize about these two things. So it was like going deep and then the shame. I had to realize that if these things were the deal breakers for him, and if that was not what he was looking for, I was going to choose myself in those scenarios either way. Because I am a person who's always going to go deep, and I am a person who is always going to put myself out there. The other thing I had to notice was all the ways in which these two qualities that he seemingly doesn't like have helped me so much in my life. It's like by being willing to put myself out there and to like stand out in some way, like even if it's just wearing a stupid headband, I've been able to build businesses. Like I'm here on camera talking to you because I'm willing to put myself out there. And I'm not afraid to, I'm not afraid to be bigger, to be seen, to be visible. It doesn't bother me. And so it's like realizing that is who I am, and also realizing how amazing those qualities are about me and how much I've been able to accomplish through those qualities. So looking at that and realizing, either like choosing yourself and realizing like if they don't like it, if that's okay, because they're not my twin soul, or it's something that's triggering them, it's wounding that they need to then be responsible for healing. So it has nothing to do with you, basically. So then the last thing I'll say about this, because sometimes people change them, sometimes people like dampen themselves in order to not trigger their twin. And I've talked about this in a past piece of content. So sometimes you'll say like, oh, it's triggering to that person when I put myself out there, for example, or when I go deep or whatever, when I'm vulnerable on camera in a video, that's triggering to that person. And like, let's say that person is your twin soul. You don't pull back on that because your twin soul is triggered by it, because if you do that, you're only going to push away your twin soul. So if you're seeing that that's triggering them, you actually need to step more deeply into yourself and either let that person fall away as like a false twin, or that person will be triggered but then be forced to heal, and then that will actually bring the two of you closer. And bring them toward you. And so if you see this and you step deeper into yourself and you are more authentic and more of yourself, and it triggers them and they disappear as a result, then that is going to, that's a good thing. That's only bringing you closer to your twin soul union. So that leads us into the third one, which is that the person is not your twin soul and you can release them. And so you can tell this if so my example here is my ex-husband, who I consider like a false twin or a karmic twin. Basically his next relationship was the opposite of me. So unlike the other ex, this ex-husband, he chose, like, everybody he chose after me is like a complete opposite, like totally different than me. And so what I realized was, well, first of all, the thing it showed me, it really showed me who he was on a deeper level, because there were a lot of things that these women kind of matched with him on that I never had. And it was like really easy for me to see that, like, he and I are really different people. Like, we're clearly not twin souls. Like, because how could we be? Because he keeps like choosing people who are completely different than me. And so it can be used to confirm that you releasing the person was good and that they are not your twin soul. And so there were a couple things that were different. So first of all, completely different looks. Like his other partners had like blonde hair, blue eyes, from a small town, like and love small towns, and which I'm a city person. My ex-husband's a small town person, and he did live with me in the city, but I don't know that he was really a city person. So like, he lives in a small town now. He seems to be thriving there. He was also like a democratic activist, and so like his partners like were like running for office. Just there was this one post, and so I have a lot of like what I've looked at has been on social media, and that's certainly not a true representation of a person, but I still think it's good to use as a tool to like trigger you on stuff, and to like see where your wounding is. So I was looking at her social media, this was like years and years ago, but she was talking about how she had written a shopping list, and my ex-husband had rewritten the entire shopping list. And she was just like, oh, it's so funny. Like, she was like making a joke of it, and like, oh, it was like so cute, and like she just loves him more because of it. And I was like, wow, that would have like really annoyed me and like pissed me off. So it was just good to see that, like, you know, there's a person for everyone, and the two of them seemed happy together. And she's a very different person from me, and it like was good. Like, it was good that my ex and I released each other as a result, because we really weren't compatible, in that, like, on levels that were probably important. So I saw this with a friend as well, who she was looking at her twin souls partner and realized like that she was really different from that person, and found herself to be like, she's trying to figure out like, why does he like this other person, and kind of realized like, oh, like, it actually makes me less attracted to him as a result. And I found the same thing with my ex-husband, that looking at the people that he ended up with, or that he dated after me and even before me, it was like, oh, I'm like pretty different from them, and if this is what he wants, or and really if this is who he is, then I'm actually like not attracted to him. So the fourth one is that your twin soul may just be showing you your next healing, or showing you what you want. So this is another example with my ex-husband. I saw a picture of him probably on Facebook again. Apparently I go to Facebook for all my triggers. So I saw a picture with him and like this woman he was with, and they were at a Cardinals game. And I was so like triggered by that picture, not because of this woman or anything. It was really because I was like, was I not worth taking to a Cardinals game? And my ex-husband is like a huge Cardinals fan, and a huge baseball fan in general, but like, we never went to games. And a lot of that was because he was like, no, it's like too expensive, like we can't afford it, which was none of that is true, of course. I was doing pretty well financially. Like, we were doing pretty well financially. But he was always like, no, we can't like spend money on that. And I was like, and now he's taking her to a Cardinals game. And I was just feeling like really, again, like it was kind of the same thing as with the headband. Like I was really angry and hurt about this. And I realized though that it was really just showing me that I wanted to go to more Cardinals games. Like it wasn't like, yes, there was like that worth wounding around it, but it was also like, oh, like I can just go to more Cardinals games on my own. And like, it was just kind of showing me something really small that I wanted. It wasn't showing me like I wanted him back. It was just like, oh, like, yeah, I want this. The other thing that has, the other example I have of this is that looking at my exes, they both have children, and like seeing them have children and seeing them become dads, it didn't make me want to like be having their children. It just made me realize I wanted to be a mom myself. And I'd been like pretty back and forth on that for a long time, and like really feeling like not ready for so long. And then once I finally felt ready, it was like a really long process to becoming a parent because I just was struggling to get pregnant. But it just made me realize like, oh, like I think I really do want to be a mom. Like I really do want to have a child. So it can sometimes just show you like something that you want and that you don't necessarily want with that person, but that you want for yourself. And it enables you to choose, like you can choose to have that. And so my last approach is to realize that your twin soul is taking you deeper into your healing. So I was looking at this with my husband and his karmic twin. And so this is a woman that he dated in the past, and I noticed like she was kind of like following me. She started following me on a number of social media places. And a lot of people don't know this, but there are like analytics on everything. So like, you know, I have analytics on my YouTube stuff. So if you subscribe to my channel and your videos are public, like I will see your name, like I'll receive an email about it. So like I got an email that like she had subscribed to one of my YouTube channels, it just stuff like that. Like she was kind of like following me. And then for a number of years she kept contacting him. Actually, like our whole relationship she's been contacting him. And like she like called him one time at like 6 a.m. like it was really early, to tell him that she was pregnant with another child. And there's just like a lot of really interesting and weird things that she was doing to contact him. And so for me, what it showed me, so it was kind of like triggering. I wasn't like worried about her interfering in my relationship, but it was a little bit triggering to see that like she was still in my reality. So it was like, well, what's the lesson? Like, why hasn't she kind of disappeared from my reality? And the lesson was really just to show me how far my husband had come and how far we had come, because her vibration was very different than my husband's. Like I really can't even see them like having ever dated, even though I know they did. And it's like, oh, my husband has come really far, and like he's really changed a lot. So it helped me see how far he had come. It helped reveal himself to me even more. So like as long as I stayed calm about this woman contacting him, it really never became a threat to my marriage, because it couldn't, because I wasn't giving it energy. And it showed me like more about my husband, and really it really showed me his like deep commitment to me, and it wasn't like his commitment and the way he looks at commitment is really just like, look, I chose you. Like, he's like, I'm not going to leave you because I chose you. And it was just like, he was committed to his choice. And there's nothing I can do to like break his own commitment to his choice. I've realized. I mean, I'm sure there's something I can do, but so I like started to see like who he was more, and how he just like was just how he thought about commitment as a result. So it just revealed his character more to me, basically. As long as I didn't let any like jealousy go, take over. And it also, it revealed to me some of the things that he saw in this ex. And, one of them, I think my husband has he kind of has like a white knight thing going, where he likes to, he like loves an underdog in so many ways, and he loves to like protect those who can't protect themselves. And I think he saw a lot of that in this ex. So that was great that was like really nice to see. So there are definitely some good things that can come of that. So those are the 5 things. Again, the reason you want to release that jealousy is just because it's not going to bring you closer to your twin. It's only going to bring you further away. And if your twin has chosen this person, and this is true for any person that they choose, if your twin chooses that person, there's a reason that they are vibrating with that person right now. And because you and your twin are one, if you try to reject that person that they are choosing, it's only going to push you and your twin apart. It's not going to like you can't manifest that person out of your twin's reality. You can only manifest them out of yours. So and you can only do that by not giving them attention. So as you withdraw your attention, that person disappears, because your twin, it's like if this person is your twin, it's like you guys are making the same core choice. So don't give that person attention. And I've even heard about this with like, oh, this person has a friend, like my twin has a friend that is like interfering in our relationship. It's like, well, don't, like, you're not going to reject that person and manifest them out of your twin's life. But what you can do is you can divest your energy from that person. And it's just the same concept that I'm always talking about, of releasing the situation with love. And so you can only release that person through love and through like gratitude for the lessons that they are showing your union. So approach that. I have lots of compassion for you if you're experiencing jealousy. I know it's difficult, but I hope that these 5 things are helpful to you, and helpful to you working through, why is my twin soul with somebody else? Working through some of those issues. I wanted to give a quick update on my book, Your Twin Soul Journey. So I've broken it up into multiple books, and I'm gonna get them on pre-order pretty soon. I already have the covers done, and basically it's the reason is because the book was too long and it was just gonna take forever to do. So now that it's broken up into smaller books, they're gonna be easier to digest. You're gonna be able to pick and choose based on what you need right now in your union, or you can read all of them. But it'll just be like much more manageable, and I'll be able to get them out faster. So there is going to be a couple books that may be relevant to you. One is going to be around twin soul rejection, basically. Like, why is my twin ignoring me? Why is my twin with another? So those questions are going to be, there's going to be like a whole entire book on that. And it's going to be a short book, but it'll go deeper into this. So you'll be able to pre-order those soon. Definitely just keep watching my YouTube channel, keep listening to my podcast. I will make announcements. And then watch cardreadingqueen.com for when those books go out. So thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful and blessed day.